This is Randy Finney with Right Side of the Chart, and this is a mid-session update for Tuesday, July 30th, 2024. It is 12:59 p.m. Eastern Time, so we've got about 3 hours left in the trading day. And I'm going to go over a quick update on the markets and the other things I'm watching. We got a crude oil thread along that hit that downside target I wanted to see for a long entry today. Natural gas also broke out of that small wedge I highlighted yesterday, so we're on a buy signal there too. And now QQQ, I want to start the video right now because I think it's a perfect time for a reversal. Real quick, what happened today is we had a technical breakdown on the 5-minute chart. Remember that, 15-minute chart. I give you this near-term uptrend line off the lows yesterday, and this is the level we need to pop. I said to get up here to this bounce target, which is still very much a potential target. It's going to depend on really what Microsoft does tonight and AMD, most likely, whether we're going to get there. We also have the Fed tomorrow. Remember, we're in peak earnings week, so this is the typical what I talked about, that there is no bigger. Out of the 52 weeks in the year, each and every year, this is the week, to me, the biggest market moving potential. You always have the Fed meeting falls usually on that week. It has recently. It's again this week. We have the Fed announcement tomorrow. Probably a non-event there, but it's of course what they say. Not necessarily, the rate will come at the next meeting. I believe it is priced in for. However, this is just that post kind of FOMC and post earnings news. Noise, I should say. Remember, this is the biggest earnings week. You got Microsoft tonight, AMD. You've got the others coming up this week, and so a lot of potential market moving stuff. So what we did do is we slightly undercut that low, but this is what is probably it for the day. We're down about 2%, which is about all you see in front of earnings. This is Microsoft nervous profit taking most likely, and again technically induced. Also, NVDA broke down, so it's technically induced there. Microsoft got rejected off the trend line. I'm going to get to all those charts, but now we have, just like we had a divergent low here, we got a bounce. You have an even bigger divergent low now, so that sets the stage. Right now, everybody's pessimistic, but I'm still very much open to those bounce target. That bounce target right there, minimum of about 473.90, and or max right now the downtrend line. If we're going to get it, the catalyst is likely to be Microsoft tonight. That's it. So from a technical perspective, yeah, so I think there's still a good chance. In fact, I'll call it right now, we're down 2.06%. You're probably just seeing the low of the day right here as I'm doing this. I'll wrap up at the end of the video, give or take, a few, tenths of a percent on that. So that should be about it. Well, we're right at support. A hair below, but that's kind of the norm too, is they undercut the recent lows to blow out stops on longs and suck in some shorts before they reverse it. So I do think we'll see a reversal in the last 2 hours of trading today. SPYs has not undercut the recent lows. That's that big gap right here. There's your low, and bounce where to? Probably right here at least today. 542.48 on SPY. That's going to be about a 0.75% lift if you're an active trader on QQQ. I'd say, let me go down to a 5-minute chart or even a 1-minute chart. Yeah, 1-minute chart. Let's see. We've got some divergence building here. We need to see the turn. We need to see a bullish PPO crossover come. Then you got a downtrend line right here. Take that out, 458.25 and 459.86. That's where I don't think we're going to close green, but we'll probably run up there today. Be about a 1. If we get to that minimum target, I'm giving you right here about a 9.9%, so 1% pop there, and about 1.25 up to the top from where we're at right now, 454.17. So there's QQQ. There's what it looks like on the daily chart right here. Now we did break down. We are breaking down on the daily chart. We'll see where we close. Remember, daily chart, all that matters is how you close. We're cracking below that yellow trend line. That's the alternative, or kind of the long-term trend line off. The primary trend line off the January 2023 lows right there. I also have this version of a trend line here on another board that comes off the October lows. That one I've been highlighting. So that one's clearly been taken out right now, but again, it's a daily candle, so that's why they'll probably rally it up to park on or around that level today, keep everyone guessing. And remember, it's just, if we don't and we go down a little bit more, remember, we did hit and parked on my NQ targets. Like I've been highlighting, this level right here, T1 449.70 on QQQ, is comparable to the fourth target on the NQ daily chart that we did hit and we're still on right now. So again, anything can happen. Microsoft, we could take T1 out in one fell swoop tonight or tomorrow, and that would take us down to the 200 days and this potential. It's kind of a micro or halfway point target, right there, the 200-day moving averages. But then my next swing target's down here about 413. And however, I wouldn't write the market off yet. I think we'll see a bounce into the close today. And then, Microsoft reports tonight. I'm just toggling around different time frames here. This is a 60-minute chart. You've got some divergence now on the 60, which you didn't have before, potential divergence. So despite all the doom and gloom at the moment, and where I think we're going, things change longer term. I see a lot more downside in the coming months. It's just near term, we may still get that pop if they like what Microsoft's selling tonight. And if not, it goes the other way, guys. Remember, just because, looking for, and remember, we did get a reaction. This is the important thing. I look at both the NQ and QQQ. I'm toggling over to NQ. These are the targets I gave you literally the day the market or the day before the market peaked, and T4 was hit. We bounced back. T3 is resistance and T2 is resistance. T2 is still the maximum. What I think is if Microsoft happens to surprise to the upside, maximum bounce target. Whether we bounce that far or not, or even to the shorter term targets I gave you on the 15-minute chart of QQQ and NQ, which I'll get to again in a second, whether we bounce or not, the next solid break below T4 here, which is also going to be that comparable, what was it, T2 or whatever on the daily chart of QQQ or T1, they're different swing targets, different, but they're all, support levels that have been hit, and I think we're going lower. So the point is, if we take this out with conviction, that's going to increase the odds we go down to T5, and also you have to take out T1 right there, 449.70, because that's that comparable support. It's a little bit below. So bottom line, we're on support. We've got divergence here. We slight undercut, nice positive divergence on the 15-minute chart. And again, we had it here, and it got a nice bounce out of it. Now we have even bigger divergence, and it could set up an even bigger bounce still to that, bounce target I'm looking at here, near-term bounce target, about 473.90. And then if it carries a little higher than that, you got the potential downtrend line and gap backfill. These are the target area I've been covering lately. So kind of minimum, max. And as I've been saying, unless we take out 467.83, which we keep getting rejected on, that's not going to happen. But that's you can wait to see if that gets broken. And on SPY, it's about 547.39. That's where the SPY sellers keep stepping in. And so you're kind of in this, you were in this range, you broke the trend line on QQQ today, and you broke that little support level there, but you're still above the lows. And, even if SPY goes a little bit lower, equal or slightly lower low, it's still going to have nice divergence here. So, yep. So the case for a bounce is still very much alive. And bounce or no bounce doesn't change my longer-term outlook and, longer-term positioning on the long-term accounts. But let me show you what else happened today. In addition to QQQ breaking that short-term uptrend line right there today, which was a technical catalyst, my favorite and biggest short position is NVDA. It has been sharing that for a while. That one actually broke T2. And now where I normally might be adding to that, I actually told you recently, I have, I don't usually do options, not a big options guy. I've traded many times in the past, but I just covered a big position, a big put position right before this video because I think we're going to bounce for the reasons I just stated before in QQQ. Also, I didn't have it here before, but there's a big old gap right here, and NVIDIA just tested the bottom of the gap. So I just covered those puts. I plan to get back into those. And normally, again, this is just played out beautiful. I got this chart out to you while I was on vacation in Italy. Saw the bearish engulfing forming before the day was even over. Gave you some targets. That was first support target zone hit. Danced on it for a while, as you guys know. Once we took it out, straight down to the bottom of my second target zone. As is usually the case, the initial tag of a support level or target produces a bounce. You can cover a short trade a bounce if you want, or put profits, get back in on the bounce, and or both. Same thing here. Boom, we bounce back. Remember, support once broken becomes resistance, so that was your objective re-entry. Now down, and now we broke here. So normally I might, well, that should open the door to T3, and it does. However, I think we'll kick back and back test right now. And you also have some potential divergence. Not the RSI. Like I said, I will be back into those puts come hell or high water, even if I have to buy them back at a less favorable price, or I'll just go back into the shares if the VIX continues to spike. But what happened is VIX spiked today. Those puts were up big, and I figured based on my likelihood of the market, calling that bottom right when I started the video and rallying today, those puts are going to melt down a little bit if NVIDIA does kick back. So that's that. I just want to point out now from a bigger perspective, that's bearish. Look at it. You can see it here. But again, we could bounce, and that breakdown could even prove to be a little false breakdown. Plus, remember, T2 was the second target zone. That was the bottom of it. And right here, when we hit it, and you still have the top. Now, if I want to just leave the lines there because that's how I had it, but I would actually raise the line right now to about here, because I had this gap right here. I had the bottom of the gap, but we danced on it here, so that would be a likely bounce back target anywhere here up to that level, which is at 111.83. I'll put a line there for you now, up to the trend line, maybe even all the way back to T1. This would be excellent for me, at least an excellent re-entry point. Ideally here to here, no higher than here. I really don't want to see NVIDIA go. I might sit tight on a short position if it goes higher. I just won't continue to add to it. That's my kind of current trading plan. So cover, get back in, swing down to T3. Again, love to see, not that we're going to get it, but I'd love to see either a bounce and gobble up this dip, intraday dip right now into the close, or build on it after Microsoft tonight. Again, Microsoft's ugly. Don't get me wrong. It's like I told you, it's picking up nickels in front of a steamroller. So Microsoft today, as I highlighted, this is a key trend line right here off the January 2023 lows. I know it's a busy board. This trend line here I'm talking about. So as I covered recently, we broke down, solid impulsive breakdown, perfect backtest. I have not tweaked, touched, modified this trend line. It's where it's been. And then a rejection. I always like to see the rejection. However, this is a big caveat. Microsoft did that back a couple earnings reports ago. I remember we had a clean trend line break right before earnings, and it shrugged it off. It was a sell signal. And at that time it did it. I told you have to put an asterisk there, or a caveat. Any breakout or a breakdown of a stock right in front of earnings, you got to take it with a grain of salt, because it can go the other way. Now, doesn't mean Microsoft could certainly build on the breakdown, and this is where I think the stock is going. I've been calling it down to the 200-day moving averages in this 397 level for quite a while. It's just a matter, is it going to do it tonight after earnings and or tomorrow or early next week, or are we going to bounce first and then go back down? Ideally, if we do bounce, I would be fine seeing it after in the after-hour session today, or pre-market tomorrow, go back above that trend line, maybe all the way up here. That would be a golden short, but it would have to, ideally, you want to see it close Friday. I'm sorry, not Friday, tomorrow, Wednesday, or especially the week. You want to see it back below this trend line. And then, of course, this recent low right here, you've got low, that's support. So, like I said, it's earnings. If you ask me where the stock's going today, tomorrow, tonight, I suspect it's probably going to pop after hours for whatever reason. And I'm super bearish on these guys fundamentally and technically. It's funny I'm even saying this. Like I said, I think I know the AI hype was way overdone. These companies spent way too much money. They're not seeing the returns on it. Alphabet showed you that after earnings. Microsoft, we'll see. So I have little doubt in the coming weeks to months, Microsoft will go on to hit my deeper targets here. It's just near term. Is it going to get there right away? Maybe. I'm not betting. I don't have any position in Microsoft. I don't care to. But like I said, this is a pretty big drop pre-earnings. This could be a pre-earnings whipsaw, but I think it'll stick even if there's a quick swoon up here today, later today after the close, after they report it tomorrow. They're not going to recover the trend line today by the close, that I'll tell you. But and they can just go on down here. And if they do, then the next support levels. All right. So NVIDIA covered, Microsoft. Let me cover the other things. Crude oil, I already got that out to you. I gave you both USO and CL. USO is at the bottom of my yellow zone, which is support in itself on the daily. Also, here's support on the 60-minute chart. Timing was pretty good. Got it out to you. It's been a little lift. Nothing big so far. I mean, believe me, we're not even to the first target. I give you those CL targets. But we also broke out on natural gas. I gave you a wedge yesterday when I covered it. And so I'm long both natty and crude. I figured I'd do the video. I was going to get you a static chart out. I said, you know what, let's do a video today. There's that bullish falling wedge, 60-minute divergence. It's a 60-minute chart. And there's the breakout. So that's a buy signal today right here. We took out, may have added this 210 level since I covered it yesterday. I don't know if that was there or not. And then you can see the targets / resistance levels, another potential downtrend line. And so this is where, that gas could be going. And so normally lately, in recent months, crude's been going up and natural gas has been going down and vice versa. They've been moving. But right now they both look constructive. And again, like crude, like I said, I'm not super crude, could break support. Like I said, take it. I gave you the kind of the trading plan on USO. You can do either or. You can go long here at support, wait for a drop to the trend line, which isn't much farther below, but either way, max stop should be a solid daily close below that trend line right there, or you take a tighter stop and put a stop below this support again, or either or means you take a partial position, add if it gets there. So that's that. What else do I have for you? I already got the grains out. Somebody asked for the charts of the ETFs and the grains, and I did. If you follow up and go to yesterday's post, I put these in there for you. Soybeans, and somebody asked for soybeans and wheat, WEAT. So there's with some updated targets there. This is a breakdown on backtest of that wedge. What else? That's it. So I still maintain the downside target. Still think, despite whatever Microsoft does, whatever the Fed says tomorrow, whatever Amazon or whoever else is this week, Apple, Amazon, whatever they do, I still think this market's headed lower. I still maintain these upside targets on the VIX, VIXY. Again, we've been as active traders. You can get in here and game these little pullbacks, zigzags. This could be the catalyst for the next move up, but if the market bounces post Microsoft, then probably break this trend line, may come back down a little lower, but I feel pretty confident the market's peaked, and if so, the VIX probably has bottomed. So now, again, Microsoft could just shit the bed tonight, and if they do, boom, you're going to go. We already hit T2, so I don't expect another reaction. If we get up there, we'll probably go through it, hit T3 or T4, could be in quick order. So this is still very much a swing trade in play. Also consider it a hedge, if you will, to shorts, if you want to look at it that way. All right, so that's it. Let me wrap up here. Yeah, let's do that. Keep it at 18 minutes, quick video. I got to get it out to you. And if I see anything, I'll wait till Microsoft reports. If I see anything before the close, I'll get out to you. But right now, like I said, boom, buy signals on nat gas, crude's at support. So not really, crude's been in a downtrend. That's more of a buy at support, where natural gas is buy on the breakout. And then grains are just, they continue putting those divergent lows, suck wind, but they still have their downside's minimal. They're not falling as much. The RR, the risk reward, looks a lot better. Stock market, I still maintain my longer term downside views. It's just we're in peak earnings week. There's going to be volatility. You're going to see up and down days, 1%, 2%, 3%. That volatility cuts both ways. And so like I said, today I think we're in the video where I started it, and I said I'd follow up, that I think that was it for the low today. We were right about here, and there's so far the turn, the reversal. We're at that trend line. So by the time I get this video out, we should have turned the corner. So let me wrap up now so I can get out to you quick. This has been Randy Finney with Right Side of the Chart. Have a great day.